Welcome back, terrible listeners, to the Terrible Warriors! I am not your GM today. I am one of the players. I have joined among the table of PCs for our continuation of the Mouse Guard role-playing game. My name is Justin Ecock, and before we reintroduce you to this game, let me reintroduce you to our players, starting first from across the land, actually just in the town next door. He is an evil genius.
Hi, I'm Tom. He is an evil genius white, and I am playing Tom.
Yeah, you know what it should have been? You should have been Tom the White Mouse. You should have been a white mouse, and then you could have been. Yeah, you missed it.
Anyway, I'm a gray mouse.
Or like have a white cloak.
Man. But he's got a white cloak.
It's just ruined now. We might as well stop.
In my notes, you do have a white cloak.
Yeah, so you're Tom.
Yes!
Tom the Cloak of White, and
Vindicated.
We've heard his voice now, our illustrious game master, teaching us through this game because nobody did their homework to learn the rules.
Will Mitchell.
And joining from our Patreon rewards program, deep from an underground lair underneath the city of New York.
Noir, playing Noir the Insane.
Noir the Insane. He's gonna eat that weasel one day. And Derek was with us for the first 2 episodes, but because of scheduling issues, was unable to continue to play with us. So worry not, we have rounded us out to be 4 players strong because we don't want to unbalance the game too much. Returning to the Terrible Warriors after a brief absence, we have.
Hey everybody, it's me, Cassie D20 Love Chew. Have I really been away that long?
When was the last time you did?
I don't remember.
It was
was it?
It wasn't Sailor Moon. You've done something since Sailor Moon.
Yeah. There's been something.
Yeah.
Gosh. Oh, memory's terrible.
Yeah, I've just been doing Star Trek.
That's the one that you and I are still recording.
I've just been doing Star Trek, and then D&D isn't out yet, and I don't think you're part of the unaired Shadowrun episodes.
No, not yet. No.
So yeah, it's been a time.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome back. It's good to have you. You've been busy though.
I have been doing some stuff.
Just before we jump, and just give me 60 seconds. I don't want to just spoil it. Tell us what you've been doing.
I got a job at Drinkbox Studios working on Guacamelee 2.
As a level designer.
Ooh. Actually, I'm not doing level design for them.
Oh, that's what you applied for.
I applied for that and I got hired as a level designer, but some of the needs got shifted around, and so actually
that's how it happens at Drinkbox. Everyone does a little bit of everything.
Yeah. No, everybody wears a whole bunch of different hats, as they say.
Like the Cappy salesman from Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. But I'm doing I guess what we're calling story rigging. I'm dealing with a bunch of narrative and NPC dialogue.
Ooh.
And
nice.
I'm learning how to code, guys.
Yeah, you
it's
are.
It's great.
So I'm just
cool.
saying, you're gonna pivot this off after Guacamelee 2 and finally make the Terrible Warrior video game, right? Like this is gonna happen.
Is that a thing you guys want me to do?
The point and click adventure game where you play a game playing games.
Because I could make that happen.
Yeah, the tabletop RPG simulator.
I 100% want that to happen.
As long as it's VR. As long as it's all VR.
Oh, dude,
it's gotta be VR.
Wow.
Like Star Trek Bridge
high.
Commander.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me now.
Coming soon to a game jam.
If you're not running 1480s in the SLI, you can't do it. You really need that high fidelity graphics.
And we'll introduce your character. We've got your character. I'll let Will work us through it. Oh, by the way, I'm playing. I didn't mention that off the top. Ocean, the tawny guard mouse, who will heft his axe and heft it some more. I have no doubt. And when we last played this game, which notice to the listeners, if you hear any continuity errors, that is because there is about a 3-month gap between the last time we played this game and when we're recording it now. I know, through the magic of radio, you can't tell, but here we are. We wrapped up the story, I think, quite neatly with our battle at Grass Lake against the snapping turtle, and I'll let Will take it from here. The floor is yours.
Yes, so in our last sessions, you had been at Wolf Point pouring the scent border, the synthetic wolf piss that keeps big scary monsters out of the mouse territories, bears and moose and such.
Did I ever tell you my prank
And
game involving wolf piss?
What's that?
When I was in high school...
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. We bought it at Walmart when I was in high school, and we were down in the States helping with Habitats for Humanity, so we were doing something really nice. We decided to do something really horrible. The one of the dorm rooms that was there, we took someone's gym sock and dipped it in, wolf urine, and then left it in a planter in their room, and no one could understand what... They thought an animal had died in the wall. And don't worry, they got us back. But that's my experience with wolf piss. So this stuff is potent. So I totally
horrifying.
believe that the scent barrier is a thing. Like that is the most believable part of this entire world. Anyways,
it's real and it works. So you just spent sort of the end of the spring doing that. You had then been making your way back to Lockhaven, the Mouse Guard's sort of like central command. And on the way, you had encountered a downed tree after a bit of bad weather, and there was a porcupine, and you fought him and scared him off, and it was great.
It's like these little flash moments of just like hand-drawn images, doing like a montage.
Yeah,
exactly. Like the Winnie the Pooh thing where you actually see the page flipping as it's going through our story.
I'm certainly not scrolling through my notes while this happens, that's for sure.
Here, let me add some Foley to that.
Yeah. And so you get near the town of Grass Lake, and some mouse comes hollering out, screaming for help, because a snapping turtle has beached itself in the middle of this lovely little mouse town, and is being a snapping turtle.
Was that Oswald?
That was, I believe, Oswald, who I believe one of you guys hated his guts.
Like immediately, maybe that was...
was it me?
I don't know. I don't know if it was you or if it might have been Sloan.
I'm pretty sure it was Tom, and I think the feeling was mutual.
Oh yeah, you actually had an enemy that you had written down. You had Oswald as your enemy.
Oh no, sorry, it's Harold. Harold was Tom's enemy.
Yeah.
Oswald comes in later.
Anyways.
I have a mentor named Oswald, but it's a different Oswald.
Yeah, so Harold has come screaming out, saying you need help, gets to Grass Lake, the turtle's there, it's in the town square, everybody's evacuated, nobody's been eaten, but the turtle's definitely given eyes. And so you're galvanized, you jump into action, and immediately, of course, you know you can't kill this Godzilla-sized thing, so instead, you're going to drive it off. And after a bit of humming and hawing and trying to get some people who are trapped out, you decide that you're going to distract it and use some smoke from the bakery that it's basically sitting on. You're going to burn a bunch of flour to get that smoke to make it not want to be there, which kind of works. It mostly pisses it off. After some daring heroics of rescuing people from a collapsed pub basement attached to the brewery, you manage to get those mice out, slide around on the thing's back, manage to not get devoured, and eventually it's just pissed off and leaves. Leaving pretty much all the core of the town wrecked. The bakery's gone, the bank got wrecked.
Yeah, someone stepped all over all the sandcastles.
Yeah, all the sandcastles are done. Where's Charles Atlas when you need him?
This was really cool, Cassie. The way the town was described is they were like nestled in the roots of a tree. And so some of the houses were like built around the natural, like the wood coming off the roots of the tree. Because we were all little tiny little mice, right? And then some like this part of the town was more in the open cobblestone. So like some of the homes and like the higher up in the older parts of town are like up right in the roots and knots of the... It was just a really cool image that I remember being described.
It's a pretty cool
image.
Yeah.
Next time, let's build up in the branches.
Yeah,
away from big like snapping turtle nesting grounds.
Yeah, but then you'll have to run into shrikes.
And hawks.
That's true.
Anyways,
or maybe owls.
Yeah, and hawks
Owls are
and
the
flying
worst.
squirrels and all sorts of shit.
Being a mouse is hard.
Sucks.
Life is hard. Life is hard, everyone.
We seem to basically live in the world of Watership Down.
Kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Seems like it.
Everything's rotoscope animation.
Indeed. So that was a couple of days ago.
Yes.
Your principal goal as a Mouse Guard patrol had been to get back to Lockhaven. And the town is now rebuilding itself. There's not a tiny amount of grumbling about how fucked up everything got. But people are glad they haven't been devoured.
Yeah, you are welcome.
Yeah,
Stop saying that. It doesn't help.
Just gets the song in my head.
That's not how you be a leader.
The wharves got smashed. And the lake that Grass Lake is on is in between you and Lockhaven. And unfortunately, when the wharves got smashed and the docks all got disintegrated, the boats pretty much all floated off.
Oh, so
taking a ferry across.
Yeah, we were supposed to take a ferry across to Bird, right?
To Burrow, yeah.
Burrow. It's handwritten. Yeah. So now we're having to take. We're almost heading all the way back up to Wolf Point where we originally left.
Well,
It's
indeed.
a long way home.
Basically, you're kind of forced to skirt your way around the lake. Sloan, your previous tenderpaw, has been sort of kept in Grass Lake, kind of shook up from riding on that turtle shell all that time, and
Someone
also
went
to
to the
have
top.
somebody there to deal with the sort of cleanup.
But we
And
got a new
along
fan.
the way, you've found a fan. Cassie, how about you tell us about your mouse and their relationship with the gang here?
So I'm going to be playing the role of Lawrence. He is a very, very tiny, very young mouse who is all about that hero's life. And he totally idolizes the mouse guard and saw our party here run in and fend off a big old snapping turtle and was super impressed and
Yeah.
was just like, I want to be with those guys. I want to fight big creatures and save people and be a hero. Wow!
Like right from the bard's tale.
So you are now hanging along because these guys are going to Lockhaven, and if you want to be a mouse guard, you got to go sign up at Lockhaven. And so that's what you're heading off to do. So it's been a few days now since the incident at Grass Lake. You've traveled along the shore of the lake towards the next major settlement called Lone Pine. And as you traveled, the late spring weather was sort of like damp, has given way to a very, very hot early summer heat wave. When you get to Lone Pine, it's lovely. You manage to stop there, sort of get your supplies in order. And then you
No
are heading
massive
out again.
Goliaths attacking Lone Pine. It's a nice, quiet day.
It is. It's quiet, peaceful, serene until Burt Raccoon wakes
I
up.
wonder, while we're on the road, Will, would you like us to clarify what our goals are, if any of them might have changed?
Indeed, I was just about to ask
Ah.
that very
I
question.
mean, one step ahead. Of the
And
GM.
so, no, it's all right. One of the core parts of any game in the Burning Wheel family is that your character's beliefs, instincts, and goals.
Yeah.
And so, goals are your immediate goals. They're what you want to do, ideally, in this next couple of sessions. So, what are our characters' goals? They have certainly changed since last time, because stuff has happened to you guys.
Yeah.
Let's go around and come up with them. Let's start with Justin.
So my beliefs haven't changed. I still believe no mouse left behind, and
That didn't get
I
tweaked.
definitely proved that jumping into the brewery and getting those people out of there. You know, we didn't lose any.
Absolutely.
We might have lost some buildings, but no one lost their lives. So belief there. My instinct to heft my axe definitely helped. It worked as a lever. It worked as a sign of office. It worked against a snapping turtle. Well, actually, I don't think
It was just great.
It was just the best. I'm the best. My goal was to prove to my mentor that I have leadership potential. I think that's just shifted. I still want to prove that I have leadership potential, but honestly, it's more of like, we've got Lawrence here who's joined up with us. Who's like, oh boy, you're the best. You're all heroes. You're going to be the greatest mouse guards. And I just really want to leave like an impression both with Lawrence and with Tom, who's like, that's not how leaders are supposed to be, and just prove to my squad that I have what it takes to be the leader.
Nice.
So it's gone from being this more, I just want to be like, no,
Yeah.
I could totally be in charge. Of course I could be in charge. Tom, you're old,
Nice,
and you're
nice.
always hiding.
Wow.
Great. So you narrowed it down. That's lovely.
I didn't say I had
on-
tact.
On that note, Tom, do you think any of your stuff's changed? Your goal, perhaps?
Well, my goal was forge Sloan into a warrior, and Sloan has parted ways with us. So,
and also spend a lot of time on that turtle shell.
Yeah, I think goal
Yeah.
achieved.
I mean, I feel like I'm gonna shoot myself really hard in the foot if I make my goal teach Ocean to be a leader.
Oh.
Impart
Conflicting
your
goals is why
wisdom.
they're so important to this game.
I don't need anything to learn from you. You have nothing to teach
All
me.
right, I'm gonna do it.
Hey.
What do you can teach me, old man? I got fresh ideas.
This is a very interesting
You're
dynamic.
It's so important
Past
to you
die.
to learn to be a leader, but you don't want to listen.
No, I'm going to show you that I have leadership potential already. I got it. I'm ready. I don't.
Wow.
This
Wow.
is gonna go so horribly.
We're off to a good
This is
start.
going to be awesome. And
love you,
then,
Tom White.
Noir, What is your mouse's goal, belief, or instinct? Have they changed, or are they the same?
Well, after seeing how well we took on the turtle, his goal has changed ever so slightly.
Oh,
It's no
no.
longer, I want to eat a weasel. It's, I want to
no.
eat 3 weasels.
3 of them.
You want to eat a small nuclear family of weasels.
Oh, that's really funny.
3 weasels. No more, no less. 3 weasels.
3 is
Four-
the number of weasels.
four is
that
too
shall
many
be.
weasels.
4 is just maybe a
2
little
isn't
bit.
enough.
4 is a little
5
bit too
is
much.
right out.
5 is right out.
5, you can fuck clean off with that shit.
1 is in the wrong direction.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, you are a maniac. We might have to put you down. Anyways, but we have
Great,
Lauren.
and then yeah, Lawrence.
Hello.
What do you got? What do you got for beliefs, instincts, goals?
Cool. So my belief is that the mouse guard never loses.
Ah.
I mean, currently we're 1 for 1
So
in your
far.
book.
Yeah. So far, I saw the mouse guard for the first time, and that first time they didn't let me down in my
Yeah.
expectations.
I heft my axe.
They're
Undefeated.
winners. They're winners in my books. My goal is to prove that I have what it takes to be a mouse guard, to wear the cloak.
Yeah, own that cloak.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna be a hero.
I'm gonna
And then,
be the very best.
No, down.
And what's your instinct?
Oh boy, I'm gonna get you guys into so much trouble.
Yeah,
It's gonna be real
it,
bad.
It directly conflicts with my belief.
It's gonna be
Run
real bad.
Towards the danger.
It's gonna be real bad because my instinct is to run in head on.
I dive in.
So good.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
face
good.
check that bush.
Something's rustling in the trees. In. There's a sound in the cave. In.
check it out!
That's
Well, you'll be
fantastic.
joined by Noir if there's even a hint that it might be a weasel.
The glowing eyes or a shadow in the coming from overhead. I run
what's
towards
that?
it.
Multiple weasels.
Yeah, I guess if you see 1 weasel now, you're gonna be like, whatever. You're not even gonna care. Let it go.
Psh, I got this. 1 weasel, whatever.
Oh my God.
No big deal.
Do you not understand how terrifying a weasel would be?
Yes.
Like they are.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is
to a
Yes,
mouse.
I am
bad.
aware.
We would need a small squadron of,
Oh yeah.
we'd need a phalanx of mice just to be able to,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'd need a lot of rope.
Except
Yeah,
for
and
that.
of course, a reminder for our listeners that in this setting, just like 3 years ago, there was a horrible
Yeah.
genocidal war between the neighboring weasel kingdom of Dark Heather and the Mouse territories. Because a weasel got in his head, why should I hunt and forage for food when I can enslave mice and force them to breed and use them as both food and slaves?
Yeah, and that's recent memory too. A lot of us would
Yeah,
have
like,
lost
like Thomas
family
for
members.
sure fought in that.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah, and
Would I have been old enough, or am I just this is just before my time?
You would have been like
being
7.
a tiny 10-year-old mouse.
Yeah. You might not remember it, but you certainly
or like you never
grown
appreciated.
you've grown up in a world that has just known that kind of loss. It was a hard won stalemate, wasn't it? It wasn't even like a real victory.
It was
kind
like
of-
the Mouse territories lost several cities. They just are gone. So your borders shrank. And during that time, like there was like
Yeah, there's actually
Grass Lake,
on the
where
map.
you're from is
Yeah,
it's the far side of the
on the
Mouse
left side of the
territories,
map, they've actually crossed out names of the cities that were lost. So to give
Wow.
you an idea. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
it's pretty
pretty
rad.
dark.
So it's
Very
kind of
grim
like
shit.
me in the Cold War. I mean, technically I lived through it, but I was just playing Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
And we can see that in your hero worship and not understanding suffering.
yeah, I'm gonna be a
Not
mouse
you,
guard.
Tom, sorry.
Yeah.
The mouse.
Lawrence is coming in, and Lawrence is kind of like the first generation of mouse guard who don't really have the living memory of the Weasel War. So they've got real, rose-colored glasses about what the mouse guard are. Whereas even, Ocean wouldn't have fought in the war, but was certainly may have had uncles or family members that
Yeah.
died fighting these weasels. So it's
Yeah.
as it continues on, now we've got a new generation that really haven't, they just see the glory. You're all
Yeah.
heroes, and I guess Tom, you're like, there's no heroes in war.
Yeah.
I love
War
it.
does not
It's
make
I like this like generational dynamic with these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, with that in mind, all of that percolating in your minds as you've been traveling, You've left Lone Pine about 2 days ago, and the weather has been unseasonably hot. Fortunately, this area is a lot of sort of small meadows and low sort of bushes and thick undergrowth. So for somebody on the scale of a mouse, although it's been crazy hot and humid, it's not dangerously so because you have lots of bushes and stuff to hide in. And as you get into that third day of travel, about mid-morning, somewhere in the distance, thunder rolls. You hear it coming across the meadow before you. There's a few sort of copses of trees around, but as that thunder reaches you, the wind starts to sort of change directions a bit, and you can smell on the air that lovely combination of both ozone and rain. There is definitely a thunderstorm coming.
Yeah, I was about to ask if I could roll for like a survivalist or weather watcher to see if it was even a natural. Is this really thunder or is it something horrible?
Well, you know what? If you'd like, you could. If you have weather watcher, I would certainly be more than happy to let you roll that.
No, I don't. I just have survivalist. I just realized weather watcher is blank.
Well,
I do
I have it.
most
Weather
nature
Watcher.
for that.
Our weasel connoisseur has weather watcher.
I have
Weasel
Weather
connoisseur.
Watcher.
So, I've got that at 2. I got a 6 and a 1.
Okay. Now, the way the Weather Watcher works is that you actually... This is one of the more unusual skills in this game. You actually roll against the season itself.
Whoa.
Yeah, right? So I'm going to roll for the summer, which is the season we are now in.
Should I roll
Clackety.
2?
So it's like a combat roll against nature.
It's kind of... It's an opposed test. It's a versus roll.
There's a fuck you, nature.
Now, can anybody help our lovely friend Noir here?
How
I
to
can.
help?
I have Weather Watcher 3.
Tom can absolutely help.
I
Yeah.
also have weather watcher.
All right, so if you're going to help, describe how your character is helping him figure out the
Okay.
weather. And you'll be able to
Well,
get a
I mean-
bonus die.
I mean, I've
I heft my
been
axe.
through a lot of weather. I can, I recognize the signs. I kind of know how to deal with weather a little bit.
Okay, so like, are you like playing devil's advocate? Like, you know, he's saying, "Oh, I think it's going to be this," and you're like, "Oh, no, it was like
No.
that 15 years ago.
No,
this
feel,
time it's going to be
feel
like
the
this."
ozone on your whiskers.
Yeah, I'm sniffing the air, kind of like I like super kind of write myself up and I'm sniffing the air.
Tom, I kind of like it in that you would just succeed on your own, but you're letting Noir kind of do this and nudging him like a mentor in the right direction with his answers, and that's how you're assisting without. You're not.
Well, I mean, he did take the lead. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna.
Yeah, exactly. Ocean would.
I got 2 successes.
Okay, you got 2 successes. And you're getting help from Tom, so you added the extra die for that, right? So Noir, roll away. And I'll tell you right now, Summer got 3.
I got a 1, 2 6s, and a 5.
Oh,
2
3
sixes.
successes.
And a 5. Lovely. And so, with Weather Watcher, this being a slightly different skill than the others, you succeeding kind of lets you decide about the weather.
What?
It's pretty cool. It's the closest thing to sorcery the game has.
That's pretty cool.
So, if you win your check by 2 or more, you may choose an unseasonable option for that season. Or you can predict just what the next thing will be within the general options for what you'd expect this season to have. So you did win by 2 or more. What sort of summer weather are we going to be seeing coming up right away?
This is so great to derail right from the start.
I'd say thunder, but no rain or lightning.
Nice. Okay.
So all the lightning is
So
just
you
up in
predict
the
that.
clouds. It's not coming down.
Yeah. It's going to blow over. It's traveling too fast to rain on you. Is what Noir is predicting. Does everybody buy it? Does anybody want to hedge their bets?
No, that sounds good.
No, I'm gonna go with
Yeah, I heft my axe. It sounds like it's getting windy out.
Heft my
It is.
axe.
Yeah, you don't want it to blow away.
Yeah, see, lightning isn't as big a threat to us because we're so small. wind is the bigger threat to us.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly. And you're in the underbrush already, so it's pretty okay. So as predicted, the storm rolls in, and it looks like it's gonna be just awful, but it is moving too fast. It rolls right over you guys, and there's lots of thunder, and it gets like super dark out and into that sort of like sickly green light that is like a really bad storm light.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the humidity gets sort of like cold and damp, and there's like a mist almost, but not quite rain. And then it passes. And the sun comes out again, and the birds start to chirp once more. And all things are looking quite good for you. You made the right call. You guys didn't panic.
Yay.
So what do you want to do now?
Heft my axe.
Continue down the trail.
Continue down the road. Yeah. Okay. We've now left Long Pine.
Lone Pine.
Lone Pine.
With them all.
And we're heading towards Darkwater. Is that the correct direction, or are we?
There's two sort of options. You could be going towards Darkwater or Maple Harbor. I'd imagined you were going towards Darkwater.
It seems like the more direct route. Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
by far.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right, so you just continue down the trail?
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I have an orator
Lovely.
skill, so I start I'm trying to come up with the lyrics to our Snapping Turtle song to pass it on.
yeah.
To
Are
some
you
people.
our
'Cause of
bard
course,
as well?
Well, no, but when we arrive in Lockhaven, we're gonna have some drinks and we're gonna be telling some stories. And we fought a giant snapping turtle, and I keep going like, "Did you see that when what Sloan did jumping on the back? And did you see me when I got all those people out and when you lit the whole building on fire?" And I'm trying to come up with the words to this story in this song.
And the whole time Lauren's just like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
so cool. I saw that. Oh,
That's great.
No match.
They're getting
He was no
exaggerated.
match for you.
This thing was 1,000 feet tall. It was 3 snapping turtles. It was
As big as a moose.
It had 2 heads.
It breathed fire.
And so you guys are feeling pretty good. You're pretty up, you know. You're amped. You've had a good trip after the business at Grass Lake. Things are looking great.
That sounds like a
As
bad
you're telling
omen.
your tales, you come around sort of a nice little gnarled route, and you all kind of like hop over it. And whoever the first person over is, you immediately find some trouble.
Oh, can it
On
be?
the little sort of path ahead of you, hidden, obscured from your earlier view by this tangle of roots under this bush that you're passing beneath. On the trail ahead of you, there is what looks to be a dead body. A dead body of a weasel.
Oh.
Someone's getting part of their wish.
Could I describe while I'm telling these stories and I'm going like when we jumped on top and I'm like mimicking what Sloan did when Sloan got onto the back of the snapping turtle and I jump up onto that root and maybe I like lose my balance and fall backwards and land
Oh, yeah.
on like that's soft, that's furry, and kind of freak out.
And yeah, there's a dead weasel. It's face down in the dirt. It had like a sort of like scarfy sort of headdress thing that's mostly fallen off. It's got like there's a small sword that it at one point was holding, which is sort of just out of reach of its now dead hand.
Ooh.
There's some blood on the sword.
Okay,
and
I'm gonna draw out my whatever weapon I have and approach it carefully in case it's not actually dead.
the weasel's playing
He's going
possum.
to ready his spear and join him.
Well, I fell on it, so if it was alive, we'd find out now. I'm happy to put myself in danger.
I'd like to see if I can maybe use Scout or Survivalist or something like that to see roughly about how long it's been dead.
Can I use survivalist for that? Is because I've got 3 in there, and
Lawrence has already run up and started poking it with a stick.
because I'd love to know like, can I use survivalist for things like what kind of blood is this? Is it mouse blood? Is it
Yes.
wild blood?
So if you want to figure out how long it's been here, how long
Yeah.
when it died, I would say healer or hunter or survivalist. Any of those could potentially give you that information. It'll be easiest with something like healer or hunter, but survivalist could do it. It'd just be a little more difficult.
Yeah, I'm looking now. Yeah, survivalist is more for like building shelters and locating water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it can give you a rough idea of how much time has elapsed outside. So it can do it, but it'll be hard. Hunter or healer, though, that is much more in the wheelhouse of those abilities.
Well, Ocean's got a 4 in healing, so yeah, I want to just like check to see, because you can tell sometimes by just the amount of bugs and the kind of bugs can help you know like how long it's been there for, and if the blood
Get your CSI on.
is the blood still wet, and yeah, Noir, if you wanna help
I'd
me
like
with
to
the
lend
forensics.
my aid with Noir's knowledge of survival and scouting and what sort of insects would be in this area.
Yeah,
and
maybe
actually
while I'm looking at the physical body, you're helping to point out the tracks around it and see to like recreate the scene.
Yeah, and like see how much they've been worn away. And
Yeah,
such.
yeah, the whole Witcher sense thing.
Yeah. Okay. So for you, that is going to be a obstacle 2 healer check to poke over this body. If it was a mouse, it'd be a bit easier. You know, you haven't inspected a lot of dead weasels.
No.
But so obstacle 2 to figure out when this weasel died.
So I got a 4 in that skill. Am I rolling 4 dice?
You're rolling 4 dice. Anything 4 or higher on a dice is a success.
And with Noir's assistance, do I get any bonus thrown into my pool?
If Noir is helping you, you get an extra dice. But
Yep.
if things go real bad, Noir will be affected as well.
Oh yeah.
But I think you're probably okay.
You're all in danger now. Ocean's rolling. Okay, so ASMR. I roll 2 6s, a 5, a 3, and a 2.
Nice. Well, 2 6s and a 5. That is 3 successes. So you beat the difficulty. And you have 1 extra. I'm going to give you some extra information out of that.
Yeah, I cut him open with my axe. I heft my axe.
Yeah, you heft your axe right into his like chest bones and cut him open and autopsy right there. So here's what you know about this weasel. This is not an adult weasel. This is a very young weasel. This
Interesting.
weasel.
This is
in
deep
terms
in
of-
mouse territory.
This is deep in
This
mouse
is
territory.
literally the opposite side of the territory from where the weasels come from.
Indeed. Now, you guys do know that there are weasels at large in the mouse territories. They weren't necessarily part of the war. They're just weasels being shitty weasels.
Yeah, outlaws or whatever.
But it's still super weird
Yeah.
to run into them here. That's a bad sign.
Oh, did it get dropped from the sky?
Well, that's not what killed it. You find that it actually choked on something.
Oh, so it's good that I cut him open. I'm inspecting the contents of his stomach.
Well, it's
Can we
in
force
the
the mouth
throat,
open?
actually.
Okay.
In the throat, you find the shoe of a mouse.
Oh no.
Oh.
There's a nice, well-worn, like, obviously, like a traveler's shoe, the sort of thing you'd expect, like a traveling merchant, maybe.
Is there a foot
somebody
still
who
in it?
maybe goes from Lone Pine to Darkwater selling stuff. Yeah, that's the sort of boot. That's the sort of mouse that would wear a boot like this.
Is the mouse still wearing the boot?
It is not. You only find the boot lodged in this
Okay.
thing's trachea.
So maybe the mouse just threw his boot at it
Yeah.
and caught in his throat and he escaped.
The luckiest,
Yeah, you do know
luckiest
that
son
there's
of a
a bit of-
gun I've ever seen.
There's a bit of blood
So
on,
we're-
its,
There's like
on its
no
teeth.
So we're
like no mouse remains in its stomach because you just cut him open.
so
right?
we need to
That's
take this
right.
boot and find out whose shoe this fits.
Yes,
Anyone missing a
It's a
shoe?
Cinderella story of the time.
that's right.
Well, with Noir's assistance,
this-
how long has this been sitting here? Like, has it been?
That is the key question you wanted.
Yeah.
It has been sitting here for no more than 5 hours. So
Oh.
basically, like in the morning, right? Like 8 or 9, mid-morning is when this went down.
This merchant
Not
mouse,
really that long
this
ago.
bootless mouse, could be nearby.
So,
Okay,
the
You're not going to
so
get very far with one shoe.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. You said this is a very young weasel.
It's
it's-
basically like Lawrence age in weasel years.
Wow.
It's very likely that it didn't stray too far from older
Yeah.
weasels, like probably its parents. So they're probably still out there somewhere nearby.
Noir, keep an eye out. We don't want to get snuck up upon in case his friends are around.
But I gotta butcher this thing. We're eating well tonight.
Okay, well, then I will keep an eye out with my no skills in scouting.
Lovely. Now, Noir, you'd been interested in the blood, right? That was around. I believe earlier you'd asked what kind of blood it was.
Delicious blood.
It is delicious blood. It is not mouse blood. You've part of your helping him is you figure out, yeah, the blood that is on the sword, that is probably mouse blood, but the blood that's sort of like in and around the weasel, that's all his.
Okay.
But you also know that the blood on the sword is not like a fatal amount.
Okay, so
You've bled this much and you're alive.
we're looking for someone who's been hurt, but and is missing a boot. Or we got a nice profile here building up here.
Maybe
a
someone
merchant,
got
probably
tripped
not
with-
alone if they were to take out a whole weasel, even a young one.
Reconstructing a crime scene here.
But also,
they-
I'm really
they were
worried that its
tripped with a
age-
sword and
Like,
knocked the shoe off.
It would be unusual for such a young weasel to be out this deep in mouse territory by themselves.
It's pretty weird.
We really don't want to get snuck up upon. Yeah, because that'll be a bad time. So we should stay on the trail and keep an eye out. But I want to stay like off trail, like in the bush, more moving out of sight as we keep an eye out
agree.
for. And also maybe other signs of this injured mouse. Maybe they've left. If they're bleeding, they might have left, trails up against, leaves, trees, things like that as they've been wounded through. Like if they're hurt and they're missing a shoe and they're out in the middle of the wild, they're not going to get far before they're going to need our help.
Who's got the boot?
Well, I guess I did. I must have pulled it out while I was investigating.
Lawrence goes up to Ocean and takes the boot. I will carry this.
That's some good moxie, kid.
I'd like to.
Lawrence just really, really wants to be helpful and doesn't
Yeah.
know what to do, so he's
And-
just like, I will carry the boot.
And Ocean really, really doesn't want to leave a mouse behind. And if there's a wounded mouse out in the wild right now, we got to get him before the rest of these weasels find him first.
Alright, I'd like to spend like a minute or two just to butcher about as much as I can within that time.
Oh, okay. I want to.
Would that be Hunter to do that quickly?
We really should get going.
I'm looking to Tom here, going. We got to leave. We can't. We've got rations and food. We can't be satiating someone's fantasy to eat weasel.
Now,
I agree with
We can
Ocean.
come back after we
Nathaniel,
find this guy.
Ocean, is this maybe a good time for you to
Safe.
prove that you're a leader?
Yeah, I do. I heft my axe. Noir.
Yeah.
This isn't the time to start cutting up food. We've got supplies. We've got a wounded mouse out there. We've got to find him first.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Besides, it won't taste as good as an adult.
Yeah, and it's
wow,
Or
wow,
been,
wow, wow.
It's also just been sitting there, and
That
we
sounds
don't
like someone who hasn't eaten.
we don't have time for this. Lawrence is already carrying a boot. He can't carry like a bag of wet meat.
I got a boot.
We gotta-
Now,
Lawrence,
incidentally,
Lawrence, like, holds
have
the
you ever
boot
seen a
up,
dead
like, over
body
his head.
before?
Hey, kid,
No.
you want to
Is
see
this
this
been-
body?
Want to see a body?
I wonder, is it like, yeah, this would be like coming across like, I guess for our scale, like a large horse almost, or even.
Well,
larger
I mean,
than
it's
that.
a young weasel, so it's
Yeah.
only about twice your size.
Yeah,
It's
Right,
It's,
it's like
basically
you- It's like you
like
came.
a dire wolf. to
that's
us.
true. That's true. Now it was face down
Yeah,
in the
you came
bushes,
across-
but I didn't even
You took
consider.
the wrong corner and you found the boogeyman dead.
Yeah,
Apparently,
you're-
young weasels are in the
you
same
are
size
10.
category as us.
this is not
I'm
The Walking
10.
Dead, so
But yeah, Nora's going to collect the sword and get ready to move.
I got a boot though.
Okay.
Let's move on.
yeah, I'm real.
All right. So you guys want to move on?
I'm real nervous.
And yeah, you're pretty nervous.
Yeah.
You guys said you wanted to sort of go parallel to the path, not on it.
Yeah, I'm looking over my
Right.
shoulder. I don't think this weasel's been out by himself. And
All right. Well, that sounds to me like there's going to be some scouting and pathfinding going on. I think there's going to
Yeah.
be two tests
Okay.
here. They're going to be linked.
I can help with someone as a pathfinder if someone
I
else
have
wants
two
to.
in
scout.
both.
Nuts and
Yeah.
Scout.
I've got 3 in pathfinder.
So who wants to sort of find the path? Who's gonna pick their way through the underbrush?
Okay, who is the highest Pathfinder?
That'd be me.
Okay.
And I've got 3 in Scout. I think Scout would probably do it stealthier, but Pathfinder might be a bit more accurate.
Yeah, Noir, keep to the
That's
shadows.
kind of
with
it.
both?
And Scout's also pretty good for spotting stuff.
Yeah, you're my spotter, and I'm the one looking for a trail that we can navigate.
I got 4 in Scout also, actually.
Oh.
Oh, okay, then you scout.
I can
Yeah, man,
also
little
help.
kid.
Where's us?
I mean, yeah, actually, Lawrence, this is not far from the place you've grown up. You probably might know these trails a little better than we do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you might have been to Darkwater once,
Maybe,
visiting
came-
a cousin.
Yeah, or carrying with a
Maybe.
merchant.
I was... If that was the case, I was probably a little bit younger. I don't know if I remember that much, but I'll try. Maybe something will remind me of some stuff.
All right, well, I will assist
Okay,
young, impressionable Lawrence.
let's go.
And his
Okay.
I have a boot.
boot of navigation.
Okay, so you're sort of just like being the minder there.
And also, like,
and then
hefting my axe so that nothing's going to sneak up behind a 10-year-old mouse.
that's right. And then Tom and Noir, you guys are just being like the eyes on the skies, making sure nothing else is around.
Right.
Keeping a
Okay.
perimeter.
So the 2 folks who are rolling, you're gonna get a helper dice from your pals. Let's start with the pathfinding.
one-
Let's make sure you just
how
don't
many
get fucking
helper?
lost.
You're a helper?
Yeah,
Okay, so I get one more?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. Cool.
And so here we've established the undergrowth is pretty thick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you're gonna be looking for 3 successes to not get lost.
I got 3 successes.
Yeah, you did.
I got a 6 and 2 5s.
Ah, convenient. All right.
You're
Hooray.
small. You're able to get around this underbrush.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bit tricky to keep parallel to the path, but you know the place well enough that you can afford to have some wiggles and wobbles, sort of away and then closer, and then away and then closer. So you managed to pick a pretty solid route that will not get you guys turned around. Now let's see what our scouts spot.
Mm-hmm.
What did I see?
Okay.
I have a boot.
So I've got 3, and Tom was helping, I believe.
I believe that is the case. In terms of scouting, I'm going to say 2 successes will get you some basic information, but I'll give you some extra stuff beyond that if you manage to have a nice margin of success.
Hooray. Oh, wait, do I have to roll again?
If I'm assisting, do I have to roll?
No, he just gets to roll an extra die.
Oh, it's
Okay,
for
If shit
pa-
goes
okay.
bad, it might happen to you.
Okay, 3 4s and a 6.
3 4s and a
Wow.
6. Whoa, you are on fire, Noir. Okay, so
Well, he's already
You
got
have
one
no
weasel. He just needs to
problem.
find 2 more.
Well, so you didn't
Yeah,
get to
you've
eat
got
that
the-
weasel.
We've
you
marked
got
it on the map.
smell of them.
All right,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know.
I guess we can always come back for that weasel.
As, long, as,
He
soon, as soon as we
really
find
wants
this mouse, we can deal with that. Yeah.
Did Nora read the script for this adventure?
there's-
There's gonna be 3 weasels. I'm changing my goal.
That's hilarious. And so
So Noir has attained what is that called? Able to see the future.
yeah, he's got some pretty serious precognition going on.
Precognition. I
That's
was gonna
the
say
word, that's it.
prestidigitation.
That's just like, that's not
just
quite right.
nonsense. That's just coin tricks.
Different game.
Making little sparkles in the sky and crap.
Yeah, and so our scouts looking out. You manage to see that like, you get up into some of the bushes and get a very clear view of things. And yeah, you don't really see any trouble. It looks like it's a pretty calm summer morning. Everything's really glad that storm passed and didn't dump on you. Things are pretty vivacious. But nothing looks terribly dangerous. Until, as you come down, and I'm imagining that, like, because Tom is probably a little bit less mobile than Noir, he was sort of down on the ground, and he's sort of helping him down, in my imagination at least.
Are you perhaps getting
And
too old
as
for
you
this,
help
old man?
Noir down, he kind of hops down off a low branch, and Tom's sort of reaching up and giving him a hand. As he sort of pops down next to Tom, when he hits the ground, there's a lovely hollow boom.
Oh.
You're standing
Man.
on hollow earth. There is a cavity underneath this bush, and you are standing right on top of it.
Oh.
And it sounds like it's something big.
Oh.
I blame weasels.
Well, the weasels
That
move
was
in
a pretty.
The weasels move through massive underground tunnel systems.
They do. And it's known that the eastern portions of their kingdom go almost as far as Lockhaven, maybe even further.
Oh crap. Oh boy.
So-
if we have found something,
God.
we do have to make it to
Man, if-
Lockhaven to report back. But
So Noir's got a giant grin on his face right now. I think we might have found a tunnel. Woohoo!
Okay.
Man, if it was still raining, we could have just poked a small hole in it and let
Yeah.
it fill up with water.
I want to heft my axe and use the hilt of it to like bang on the wood and really like get a sense of the size and depth of this.
Hold on, that might reverberate through the whole tunnel. Let them know that we're there.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
That's what I want to do. But
Noir's gonna
Well, I
start
mean, I'm
digging
not
with his
gonna-
I
hands.
mean, it's his instinct. I
Both-
don't know.
both
Am I
Noir
able
and
to
I-
stop him in time.
both Noir and I want to. I mean, if we found this, the one who lost their shoe might have found this. They might have thought they could get in there for shelter.
Their foot sunk into the tunnel, and that's how they lost their shoe.
Well, no, their foot sunk into the throat of a weasel.
Yeah, the weasel's like, sweet, free shoe.
Free shoe.
All right, so
It's
you want
perfect.
to bang on the tunnel a bit?
No,
Okay, is there
Tom, you're
cover
so
nearby?
reasonable. I do want to. It's like if there's a way to like even take my if it's hollow like is it wood, is it dirt, is it covered over, like using again as my hefting my axe as a lever, if there's a way to like even between two beams and crack it open or find if there's a latch or a trap door. I want to search to see if there's a way into this.
All right, it
if-
sounds to me like you're going to scout out this
Yeah.
little area under the bush.
Yeah, I mean, if this thing's gonna be like a weasel den, we have to get to the nearest settlement and warn them that they're here.
All right.
Yeah.
This isn't on a map.
Noir definitely wants to do a bit of scouting too.
All right,
Dig
so
up
if
some
you want to
dirt,
help
see
him
if
out.
he can figure out a way into this tunnel.
Cool. So you're both looking for the way into the tunnel or the space, whatever it is, to find out what it is. So it sounds like you got the same goal. Let's have Ocean roll it, and Noir's helping.
Okay, so that's
Can
four.
I
You're
also
looking for
help?
scout.
How many people can help me?
Generally, you can only sort of get one helping die.
Okay.
Okay, so
You
just,
can get one dice from somebody helping you, one dice from a wise, which is like knowledge stuff. You might
Yeah.
notice those in your skill sheet.
I have transport wise and axe wise.
How many ranks did you
I mean,
have in
transport
scouting?
wise, you know what tunnels sound like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that. There's a 2 on that.
I'm beer wise.
I'm apparently poison wise.
Yeah, you.
Ugh.
Well, that's
You're a
also good
messed
for
up
like
little
also
kid.
knowing can we eat this or not. Don't
Yeah.
you put it in your mouth.
Yeah,
just
it's very
have
good.
it?
I'm a little
So
if I
scared to ask.
So if I have transport wise 2, does that mean I add 2 to the dice?
It'd be only if you were looking up if you were only just thinking like, what would a tunnel
Oh.
sound like, and you wanted to know what that is, you'd be rolling the wise. Otherwise, it's helping one of your own skills. It's how you
Okay.
help yourself.
Yeah, so I'm using it to help then assist my skill to find my transport tunnel wise to look for an entrance or a way through.
Yeah.
And like even if there's like a thinner part that we can crack open,
Maybe bust through.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then great. I'm gonna roll with that. And
Yeah, now, this is a pretty obscure and hidden thing, so again, it's going to be an obstacle too.
Mm-hmm. no, it was if it wasn't for Tom being just this heavy old man, we never would have found it. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing we do take him around after all.
And don't forget, Noir's helping you.
Yeah, you
Yep.
are. That's 3 successes.
Awesome. So yeah, you poke about, and after a while, you find there's a root that kind of has some wiggle to it. And if you push on it, yeah, it does. It goes down into that space. And so you found a route that goes through from the surface down into that thing, and it would be trivial for you to do a little bit of digging around there and get down into it.
I mean, I'm worried about this other mouse. We haven't seen any evidence of this footless mouse, have we?
Hide nor hair.
Yeah. And I don't want to
Well,
leave
look
anyone
at it this way.
behind, but also this seems like a more pressing priority here. If this is a weasel base or an outpost that we've discovered, I mean, we have to confirm that and then warn the others. We can't just leave now. We don't have any evidence other than a young weasel dead on a trail. Who may have just
After
been
all-
lost or left behind. I mean, weasels aren't exactly known for their familial bonds.
And we're not too far from a town. It's entirely possible that whoever got attacked might have gotten back to one.
I mean, it's entirely possible this town it might be a mouse hole. It might not be a weasel. It could have been someone else. near Darkwater. We're close. How far are we between Lone Pine and Darkwater?
You're about halfway.
Yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere. Okay. I mean,
So what do you do?
I heft my axe.
Of course.
We have to dive right in, right, Lawrence?
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, I want to grab my
Okay.
flint and crack open a torch and head into this
All
tunnel.
right. Rock on. So yeah, you guys sort of heft the axe and you all team up and do some lovely mouse scurrying and digging. And I like to imagine this from within this mysterious dark space. There's a sort of crack of light, and there's like the silhouette of the root poking down from above. And then there's more light, and you start to see the shape of what is indeed a tunnel. And then quickly you see some mouse heads. As you guys sort of get down into the space.
Sans
Like-
bodies?
Well, no, this is your guys' heads. I'm imagining this being from the view from within the tunnel.
Oh, okay.
You guys making your way in.
I thought we found separate
Oh.
heads.
Yeah, no. I was just like, what kind
Don't
of
worry.
game have I gotten myself
Like,
into?
are they on sticks?
It's just a,
Don't worry,
just
don't
a tunnel
worry.
of heads.
Don't worry.
It's paved with mouse heads.
If somebody said they
That's
had
horrifying.
was providing light, you made a little torch.
Yeah, well, I said I cracked out my flint and I lit a torch.
Yeah. And if you toss it down into
Yeah.
the darkness,
Yeah.
it falls and falls and falls and lands right in the eye socket of the skeleton of a weasel. In full battle armor.
Oh.
It's got like this like awesome sort of rusty looking scale mail that at one time was resplendent and is now quite sort of neglected, sitting here in this dank
Yeah,
tunnel.
there's not much meat in those bones, Noir.
And around it, there are the skeletons of several mice in various states of busted or general sort of scattered state.
Oh, do they have the remains of the mouse guard
okay.
cloaks?
They, in fact, do have brightly colored cloaks of varying hues around their skeletal
Now,
necks.
do the skeletons look like they've rotted away, or do they look like they've been picked clean, like eaten?
It's hard to tell from up here,
Yeah,
but
it's a battleground.
yeah.
Yeah. So we see
We got some rope.
a cave
Okay,
of
where did you
fallen
say
comrades.
the closest mouse town was?
Well, you're kind of halfway
Where?
between Darkwater and Lone Pine.
We're
Okay, and
we're
those
exactly
are the only
equidistant.
towns that we know of.
Well, they're the only towns sort of in this area.
Yeah,
Okay.
Um,
So there's
'cause
no
if you
like
go north,
nearby
you hit
town that's in
water.
danger.
yeah. There's a lake nearby, another one.
Okay.
yeah,
and
it's
then,
more of a
and then
sea
and then there's
by
more
most
of a, and then
standards.
there's just more wilderness without any paths trails. That
Yeah,
head-
you can
head south.
bushwhack it straight to Ironwood if you wanted, but that's actually
rough.
farther than
Yeah,
Darkwater,
that's
but
rough.
it is more direct
Yeah.
to Lockhaven.
Well,
but
and
yeah,
without
that'd be-
without someone who knew what they were doing, you'd never make your way out of those woods.
No, yeah,
So-
you'd be in bad shape.
So this tunnel's definitely big enough that it's definitely a weasel tunnel.
Yeah, but
It
this,
is in fact a weasel scale tunnel.
Yeah, but this this is from the
and you
this
can
is from
see
the
actually
war.
that, indeed, you've broken through, and you can see that like this isn't just like a dirt tunnel. This has been developed. There's
Yeah.
like
Oh.
some cut stone you can see.
I mean,
That's,
that
that's sort of
armor, the
emerging
age
from
of
the
them.
dirt.
This is from the war.
Yeah.
This is a battle site that no
Okay,
one
now,
no one knew there was
can
a
we-
battle this far into the territories.
How far can we see the direction that the tunnel heads? Like, is it like completely straight? Is it winding? Can we see which direction it eventually heads from where we are?
It looks like where you've broken through is sort of at a curve in the tunnel. This would
I see.
be like a kind of a natural choke point, perhaps.
Okay.
And part of it looks like it curves off into what you now know as wilderness, but part of it does point more or less in the direction of Darkwater.
That's what I was afraid of.
The mystery of the tunnel on the battle site of Mouseguard. I think this is something we will have to investigate next week, Will.
I think we absolutely will.
We've
and
come across a
we will-
mystery.
Indeed. So yeah, let's leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us, listeners. I've been your GM for this session, Will Mitchell.
And
I've been Tom. He's an evil genius white, going first for some reason because no one else did.
That's great. And then in Toronto,
I have been Cassie D20 Love Chew.
Diving right in.
Diving right in.
And I have been Osen, playing Osen, Justin Ecock here, and joining us from New York on our Patreon Rewards program.
Noir, that's you.
Sorry, that cut out for a second. Noir from New York.
Noir, live from New York.
Live from New York is Noir.
And we will uncover the mystery of this grave that has been found, the story that lies within. What happened? How come no one knows these mice died? I know I've got a lot of questions that I want to answer. I feel like Leave No Mouse Behind also can be applied to their memories as well, and so this is shooken. The rising leader Ocean. That's just where I'm saying. This is very not what I was expecting. I was kind of here to rescue someone, and we seem to be several generations too late.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun. So we'll see you next time on the conclusion to our run through Mouse Guard here on the Terrible Warriors. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
I have a boot.
Bye.
Bye.